Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Let's get straight to the point that's probably been hammering in the heads of many manga readers. Why do I believe Buggy is the son of Rox D. Xebec? Yes, it sounds absurd at first. A clown? The comic relief of the story? But remember, One Piece is, above all, a story about how the world sees what it wants to see, and how appearances can be deceiving. And Oda loves hiding essential pieces of the narrative behind characters no one takes seriously. Buggy might seem like a fool, but the trail of clues he carries throughout the story is, at the very least, suspicious. And maybe between laughs and stumbles lies the greatest secret of his lineage. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. The first and most obvious link between Buggy and Rox Xebec is ambition. In One Piece chapter 957, Sengoku reveals that Xebec's great dream was to become the king of the world. Not the pirate king, not the freest man on the seas, but literally the sovereign of everything. And if you pay attention, Buggy has also mentioned this desire on several occasions. Not as a political ambition, like King Sterry, who went crazy seeing the empty throne in Moria Joie. Buggy mentions it instinctively, as if he was born with that aspiration engraved in his blood. Could it really be just a joke? Or is Oda showing us that this disproportionate, almost ridiculous desire is hereditary? Because there's a difference between a dream and a compulsion. Luffy dreams of freedom, Teach dreams of power. Buggy wants to reign, but unlike the other two, Buggy never really seemed interested in building anything concrete. He just attracts followers, influences people, and no matter how accidental his victories seem, they add up. He became a Shichibukai without even fighting. He became a Yonkou after Mihawk and Crocodile flew his flag. That's not luck, that's storytelling. Sengoku also said that Xebec's charisma was a force of nature, able to bend even legends. Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, Shiki, all those titans sailed under Xebec's flag. That's unthinkable. And yet, we see a similar phenomenon happen with Buggy. His followers are no fools. Crocodile is a ruthless strategist. Mihawk is literally the greatest swordsman in the world. And still, they accepted sailing under Buggy's flag in the Cross Guild. Why? The answer is simple. Inherited charisma. Even though Oda treats Buggy as a comic character, his effect on other characters is real. And this natural influence, this almost magical ability to attract big names, seems to echo exactly what Sengoku described about Xebec. The kind of leadership that isn't earned. It's carried in the blood. But that's not all. Perhaps the smartest hint Oda left is in the composition of Buggy's original crew. Stop for a moment and notice Muji, the Beast Tamer, is a direct reference to Kaido's title, the Beast King. Richie, the Giant Lion, is a nod to the Golden Lion Shiki. And Alvida, a powerful woman with a paramecia-type fruit, is a parallel to Big Mom. Could this be a coincidence? Oda, an author known for connecting even the name of a sword to a minor character's past, would have done this by accident? No. This crew is a comedic miniature of Rox's crew, a faded reflection, as if Buggy had unconsciously gathered archetypes of the past around him, as if he was unknowingly imitating what already ran in his blood. And then we come to the inevitable question. How did Buggy, being Rox D. Xebec's son, end up under Roger's care? Well, that part of the story already has a fitting piece. The incident at God Valley. That's where Xebec's crew was defeated by Garp and Roger. And it's where, according to One Piece Volume 1 Billion, Shanks was found inside a treasure chest. But what if Shanks wasn't the only baby found there? Imagine the scene. The chaos of the battle at God Valley. Crews being destroyed. A captain with plans to rule the world finally taken down. And among the wreckage, Roger finds not only Shanks, but also a second baby, perhaps the son of his greatest enemy. And instead of handing the child over to the world government or killing him, he does what he always did, breaks the rules, and takes him with him. Thus, Buggy and Shanks would have grown up together aboard the Oro Jackson, Roger's adopted son's foster brothers, a D and a celestial dragon. And the irony, which Oda would love, the same childish rivalry between Buggy and Shanks, full of arguments and disagreements, would symbolically represent the struggle between the DS and the gods, fought on a smaller scale under the eyes of the Pirate King. But what about Teach? Where does he fit into this theory? Here, things get even weirder, and maybe darker, because if Buggy really is Xebec's son, then Teach is not. But Blackbeard's ship name is the same. The Saber of Xebec is just nostalgia. Teach himself is Blackbeard. And here comes a theory that's gaining more and more traction in the darkest corners of the fandom. Teach is an experiment, a replica, a clone created from some genetic remnant of Rox D. Xebec, or his devil fruit made by Xebec himself. The One Piece world has already established that cloning exists. The pacifistas, the seraphims, judges experiments. Oda no longer hides this. Imagine that after the end of the battle at God Valley, some part of Xebec's body was recovered. A tooth, a strand of hair, anything. And someone, Vegapunk or another scientist allied with the world government, used this material to try to recreate the most dangerous pirate in history, a being who would carry the physical, spiritual, and even the sleepless characteristics of the original. A strange body that for some reason can handle 2 devil fruits. A pirate who carries the will of Xebec, not because he inherited it, but because he was created to carry it. That would make Buggy the rightful heir and teach the artificial heir. The true D versus the manufactured D. And again, Oda places these 2 characters at opposite extremes. One is treated as a joke, but has irresistible charisma. The other is feared and cold, but even rejected by his own allies. One draws people by pure luck and joy, the other by intimidation and power. And all of this, of course, ties into the greatest mystery of them all. Who was really Roxy Xebec? A tyrant? A lunatic? Or the first man to try to challenge the gods on their own turf? We know he wanted to be the king of the world. But we also know he was erased, not forgotten, but actively suppressed by history. Something the government only does to those who deeply challenge the world's structure. Something that also happened to the ancient kingdom, to Joy Boy, to O'Hara. If Buggy really is his son, then he carries more than just blood. He carries buried memories, echoes of a time no one wants to remember. And maybe in the end, that explains the real reason Oda put Buggy so close to the front lines of the final war, even if disguised as a fool. Because One Piece has always been about perspective. Today's fool can be tomorrow's king. The clown might be hiding the air of chaos. And when the seas boil, when the world falls, when the truth is revealed, maybe Buggy's laughter will be the last one standing. In the end, this theory may never be explicitly confirmed. Maybe Oda prefers to leave clues and let readers connect the dots for themselves, as he always has. But even so, it's worth remembering that in One Piece, the greatest secrets have always been protected by layers of laughter, chaos, and unpredictability. What seems absurd sometimes is just the truth dressed as a clown. Buggy, the man who never wanted to be a hero, might end up being the key to a much larger story. And if he really is Roxy Xebec's son, then the stage for the final war is already set with all its ghosts. The legitimate, the forged, the forgotten, and the despised. And when the curtain falls, maybe the loudest laugh won't come from the one who won, but from the one who survived the whole story being underestimated. Buggy the clown, or maybe Buggy D. Xebec. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.